Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel for this video of the reality of stem cell therapy in America. Now, if you're new to the channel, I'm Dr. Travis Whitney. I'm the founder of Innate Healthcare Institute in Scottsdale, Arizona, as well as a physician and scientist that has been working in the field of regenerative medicine for about the past 8 years, especially in umbilical cord derived MSCs and exosomes. If you've ever been confused, or if you're right now confused about the state of stem cell therapy, stem cell medicine in America, this is the perfect video for you. Probably well aware of all the buzz on what's called stem cells or stem cell medicine. And you're probably a bit confused if you start Googling around, going to social media forums on what's the best place to go. Do I have to go out of the country? Do I have to should I stay here in America? First big one that usually seems to come up is it legal here? The FDA has certain regulations, whereas other countries say, go for it. Here's some laws, whatever statutes being passed. You want to take stem MSCs, grow them, use them in medicine, go for it. Very nice, clean cut. We're not at clean cut here in the state on a federal level, because we have federal laws and we have state laws and we have different jurisdictions. One thing I want to comment on before getting into much, you'll hear me keep saying MSCs. And the side note, subscribe to my channel, watch some other videos if you want to see me get into the nitty gritty science on why I do this. But stem cells is an overall very broad term for a lot of different kinds of cellular medicine. I say MSCs because when you hear stem cell therapy or stem cell medicine, it's being alluded to three very common, the three most common types: bone marrow, adipose, and umbilical cord or umbilical cord blood, umbilical cord tissue or umbilical cord blood. All of those are hosts or sources for a certain cell type that has been researched and explored in medicine for the past few decades. And so stem cell ends up being this umbrella term, right? And then you come down as like, all right, well, stem cells, like, what's the source of the stem cell? Where's the cell coming from? They all have different pros and cons. And so stem cell just gets thrown around as a very generalized term. So with that said, are stem cells legal in the US? Yes, there's very many kinds where you can get stem cells very legally in the US. There's plenty of people doing bone marrow aspirations. There's plenty of people harvesting adipose tissue and using this certain cell type out of it. The more complicated one is the umbilical cord. And that's where, in my opinion, is what I'm more familiar with. In my opinion, it's the better source of cells. And overseas, it's what seems to be used more predominantly. And it's where it's easier, it's cleaner. Just use these. You can use these cells, no big deal. Versus the state, or the US, the states, where the FDA says, well, we kind of consider these a drug. Myself, I'm not too concerned with what has to be FDA regulated or not. Food, that's another tangent we can get on. So the big picture is, yes, you can get it available here in the States. You just have to do a little more homework. Part of the discrepancy is because overseas clinics a lot of them go way, way, way out of their way to flood social media, to flood forums, to flood all these different sites and tell you it's illegal. You can't get it here in the US. Therefore, leading patients having to go to there. That's not true. That is blatantly false. There's plenty of very, very good places overseas that are reputable. And then, if you feel like that's better than a choice out in the States, you can weigh the pros and cons of the cost and the travel. Getting into that, weighing the pros and cons, we have some of the differences between going to places outside the US and staying here in the US. In the US, we're fighting an uphill battle. So a lot of clinics in the US are going to try to do things the right way by the patient, not the right way what regulators might consider the right way. Places in the US usually are very thorough because it's really easy. If they don't do a good job, it's really easy for them to get in trouble. Versus some of the places overseas, you go overseas, something goes wrong, who do you call? Ghostbusters ain't gonna come help you. Who do you report to? Like their version of the FDA or their like I don't understand. I've asked a lot of people this that have called doing consultations with me or with my doctors, and they go, well, I already went to this place and I had a really bad experience, bad reaction, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, well, then report. Why didn't you report it or anything? They're like, I don't know how. I don't know who to call, or there's nothing I could do. I guess you can leave them a Google review, but so the clinics in the US have a lot of safeguards because we have to be stringent. We have to do things as right as possible because if something goes wrong, there's a lot more at stake. All you got to do is report somebody to the state medical board, report them to the FDA or something like that for malpractice of medicine. So I tend to notice places in the States are very, very thorough. They're not as deceptive. They're more forthright. The cost, is another whole video in itself. You want things done right, and I hear a lot of people complain. Well, I don't want to go. Why would I stay in the States? I can go somewhere overseas and get it for like half the cost.
So we found this place. We were going to go abroad. I was first going to go to Austria, and we took that Mexico, and then my wife found this place 7 minutes from our house. So we were like, "You kidding?" Came in and got a consult, and it turned out really well because I had 10 bad discs.
My daughter had been looking into stem cell therapy, and she was telling me that she had looked. Arizona happened to have several good stem cell doctors, and she thought from what she read that innate would be the best. Since I have to listen to my daughter, I made an appointment.
I'm actually really, really surprised at the results, how instant I saw a change. And the bonus in this too was that not only did it resolve what my goal was as far as getting, remarkable improvement to the spots, the melasma, the freckles, my skin texture, that was just a bonus in all of this. Something that I knew that was potentially maybe going to, be an impact. However, I was kind of blown away.
I just forget about the fact that I've got a bad knee and I don't feel any pain when I'm walking extensively.
They want the best for the children. And we've seen that with Ace. We've seen him improve. Every visit has been such an improvement in his overall life.
Treatments have been great. Sorry, I'm trying to be happy for you guys. But it's changed my life, gave me my life back. Gosh, I'm so grateful. I'm very grateful. You guys have been wonderful. Experience has been great. Everyone's been great.
There's nothing to lose in doing it, only the pain, only the ailments that you're at. That's the only thing you lose is the bad stuff.
So I think this place is a lifesaver. I thank Dr. Whitney, his staff. They're all terrific. And I would recommend this place over anybody else.
Get what you pay for. If you've watched any of my other videos, there's a reason why a lot of the places in the States will have about the same price for a certain dosage of stem cells or certain medical procedures. And then all of a sudden, somewhere overseas, it's half the price. It's really hard for me not to break that down. I'll do it in another video. If you've watched my other videos, if I haven't already, I'll dedicate a video strictly to that. But it's because they're cutting corners, basically. They're cutting corners and there's ways to get that down and it's not safe for the patient. What do you want? You want a clinic that's trying to do things the right way and it's going to incur those costs. If you want, I want umbilical cord derived mesenchymal stem cells. I want them expanded. I want characterization. I want sterility testing. I want mitochondrial testing. You want all that stuff, it's gonna raise up the price of it. You know, if you want to save some bucks and go somewhere overseas where you can't verify what you're really getting injected into you, then it's up to you. So to conclude, it's just different. Is it legal and safe here? Yes, there's plenty of options. You can go take the legal route, get lots of regenerative medicine options. Expanded umbilical cord is a little bit, there's so much more of a gray area in the States, but I'll stick my neck out here like I've done for years and say, yes, it is available. It's just different. It's just different from overseas. So don't let that narrative control you from someone saying like, you absolutely can't get that here in the US, you have to go overseas. Especially if you're listening to somebody online that's probably just a rep or a shill for a clinic overseas. I've seen a lot of it. This is my full-time job. I've been doing this for 8 years, y'all. It's out there. So if you're curious, call, set up a consultation with Nate. We don't treat everything and anything under the sun. We're kind of very narrowed down to what we see and what we do, because we want to do right by the patient. And so if you want to set a consultation, do that. You can do that. Go to our website, innatehealthcare.org. Thanks for watching. I got to get to the gym. See you next time.